Shalom. Kohalo Yahweh Bashem Habashai Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors into the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners. And to the Aquath that are listening and learning to you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson. I'm going to open with the scripture. This is Jeremiah 51:7. And it reads, Babylon have been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand, that have made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. So the nations are very, very angry with Babylon, which is America. All right, it's not going to say America is Babylon in the Bible. What you have to do is look at the prophecies, look at the habits, the situations, and the things that were done. All right, and America has boasted for many, many years now to be the greatest empire the earth has ever seen, which is also described to be the great Babylon in the Bible. America has all the characteristics and has fulfilled all the prophecies of the things that Babylon would do. All right. The whole history of the world is contained in the Bible, between the books of Daniel and then going to the Apocrypha, reading the Maccabees. You can put it all together. All right. That Rome, Greece, the Persian Empire, the Babylonian Empire, the Roman Empire, and that America is an extension of the Roman Empire via the Renaissance, the rebirth. All right. All that can be found in the Bible. And when you fast forward to today, the nations are mad because they drank that wine. America at the edge of the sword, at the threat of the modern day sword, which is the most powerful of the modern day sword, is the missile. So at the threat of the barrel of a gun and the missile, America forced everyone to use their currency and their philosophies and their ways. And now the whole world is poisoned. The whole world is falling apart financially. And the whole world is sick and infected with COVID and many other diseases. All right. So without any further ado, let's listen to Rick Sanchez on RT.
Live from the world headquarters of RT America in our nation's capital, this is the news with Rick Sanchez.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rick Sanchez, and I want to welcome all of you who are watching us from around the world, including those of you who are watching us on your phone using the portable TV app. As we begin this newscast, right now, records are being set in the United States. You know, it's funny. Often when we think of records, right, we think of highlights, we think of accomplishments, usually of things that are positive. Well, sorry to say, this is not that type of record. This morning, the state of Florida announced that its daily death toll for coronavirus is at 173. Unfortunately, that is a single-day highest total ever announced by the Florida Department of Health since the pandemic began. The previous record was set July 16th with 156 deaths. The trend seems to obviously be going in the wrong direction. I mentioned this here at the top of the show, not to harp on numbers, which frankly can get kind of tiresome, right? But because it's that number and others like it that is causing U.S. citizens to feel suddenly almost ostracized. Now, here's what I mean. This morning, it is being reported that Europe has officially started reopening for tourism once again.
Now, while that's happening in Europe, America is having travel bans within its own country. America is having lockdowns and forced quarantines when you go from state to state in many places. So where is your proud USA? USA, this is the greatest place to live on the earth. Is that so? Truth of the matter is, if you were not an Edomite during the height of America, it was never been the greatest place to live on earth. All right, Edomites are starting to feel and receive the treatment that a lot of Jakes have been getting all along, especially Jakes that never sold out or gave in 100% to the system. and they don't like it. Where's that pride now? All right? And you're the home of the weak, the home of the sick, and the home of the cowards, because you're allowing these people to trample over your laws that your so-called murderous forefathers set up to keep you free. And you're allowing a few wealthy Jays with their organizations, because they're behind this 100%. You best believe it. All right, because follow the money. All this goes back to the bankers, and to the banking system, which wants to go to digital, and this is a course that they're taking it, and as a result of it, they're making you broker than you were, making you poor, making you homeless, making you lose your small businesses, your way of life, turning you from your very comfortable, very comfortable and plush middle class into a low class, third class citizen. You're no different than the nigger and the spigger that you hated so much. As a matter of fact, in some cases, many of them are doing better than you are. And I'm talking specifically to you E's out there at this moment. Where's your USA? USA. Where is it at now?
Hey, right? I mean, this after months of a lockdown due to COVID-19. That means there's now an expansive list of countries whose citizens will be welcomed in most European countries today. Well, there appears to be so much confidence in the citizens of those countries not having, keyword, not having COVID-19.
And see, like I said, and that's because most countries know that it's a fabrication and it's a lie. And as he's going to show you, let me grab another scripture. You're going to clearly see in this video that the rest of the world is against America, and America will not win this third world war. America will be annihilated and lose. You best believe it. The whole world is against them, and the whole world has missiles now. So America just can't beat America, and its few allies aren't the only ones on the playground with guns now. The other people got them too. This is Revelation 17 and 16, and it reads, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." So all those arrows are gonna fly from those other nations. All right, and I don't need to. If I need to explain when the Bible talks about the arrows that fly from one end of the earth to the other, well, you know that's not talking about an actual arrow. Especially if they're gonna burn and destroy. Look at the small arrow that was fired in Beirut just a couple days ago, and look at the damage that it did. All right, you ain't seen nothing yet. This party just getting started, man. Not to mention all the turmoil and the chaos that's going to be going on in the streets in America very soon. People will be getting homeless already. Food, the hyperinflation on the food is starting. The food shortages and the supply routes are being destroyed, man. So, hey, hand claps. We waited a long time for this. All right, and the men of the Lord have been warning you and telling you that these days are coming, and now they're here. Call Halal Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
Most of them are being let in. They don't have to be tested, and they don't have to be quarantined. They can just travel among different countries. There is, though, one glaring exception: the United States of America. So tonight, we're going to focus on travel. Where can you go? Where can't you go? What are the limitations? This is The News with Rick Sanchez, where we believe we do stories like this because it's time to do news again.
Are you tired of the media spinning the truth and pushing false narratives?
Are you serious?
Well, take a look at this. Over the last 3 years, while the establishment media was put...
Shut the hell up.
God. Here's our list of the questions we think you'll be asking tomorrow after watching our newscast today. How limited is travel right now, especially for Americans? Are churches being attacked worldwide? Why? Is Portland ground zero for a constitutional standoff?
Just may be.
Let's start with this. You couldn't really blame Americans right now for feeling both ostracized and somewhat confused. Under normal circumstances, countries would be opening their borders to citizens of the United States for, if nothing else, economic reasons, right? But you see, right now, that is not the case. So what we want to do is try and break this down.
Because these E's who are control of everything, was clearly their lie IQs have failed them in the greatest way. They have been in control of the water, the nourishment, the food, the air, and look at what it has gotten you. Look at the forest. Look at the wildlife. Look at nature. Your once blue and clear waters are brown and murky. Right? You have garbage hills all in Chicago and many major cities that the hills weren't there before. Because what they do is they take mounds and mounds of garbage and then they throw dirt over it and allow the grass to grow over it. And then when it's, and then that poison seeps deep into the earth. And when it gets really hot, the all those odors and get right into the air and pollute and kill everything around it, man. You walk all throughout Chicago, and I imagine many other places in the nation, and it's in the middle of summer, man, deep into the summertime, and you have trees that have blossomed fully, but they didn't blossom fully at all because half the limbs have no life on it. Almost every other tree is that way. All right, this is Daniel's 1:5. The king appointed them daily provisions of the king's meat and wine, which he drank, so nourishing them 3 years. At the end thereof, they might stand before the king. But see, that nourishment that you've been eating, both mentally, physically, and spiritually, has been poisoning the people and the whole world because everyone drank of that cup of Babylon. Verse 6. Now among these were the children of Judah, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, unto whom the prince and the eunuchs gave names. For he gave Daniel the name Balthazar, and Hananiah the name Shadrach, and Mishael the of Meshach, and Azariah and Abednego. But Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested a prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. All right, and so in doing so, they were healed when everyone else was sick. And that's the problem. The men of the Lord, the people of the Lord, have woken up to who we are. And we're being healed spiritually. Even though our bodies are trapped in Babylon, the scripture says we shall eat poison and yet live. All right, we shall eat our bread defiled among the heathen. And yet we are, but yet we're still alive. But look at the condition of everyone else in this place.
For you by asking the question, who can go where? RT correspondent Saya Tavenger is joining us now from the update desk to try and, I guess, do her best with all these numbers coming in to answer that question for us. Saya?
So global borders being shut isn't new for most of the world, Ricks.
Now I'm looking at Saya, this pretty brown thing here. All right. And I have a client who has a wife that's of the same ethnicity she is, or I believe if she's Elam, I think she's an Elamite, except his wife is a little bit, browner than she is. She's actually really, really dark brown, almost like a Negro brown. But yet they still don't call her black though. But that's. But anyway, it's just funny because this will be the second time he reached millionaire status and then lost it all. This is the second time. First time he had a pretty little pale thing that looked like Jennifer Aniston, a younger Jennifer Aniston, just hotter, in all honesty. She left him, took a majority of his money, even took his dog, left him broke. I mean, yeah, that was a rough year for him, and that was right around the last time because we went through it together because I lost the majority of my clients, including him. But, we stayed in contact over years, and somehow he's got the gift of gab. He built his wealth back up, got a bunch of business partners, and he's back in there, and he got this new young thing, Jaya, all right. But now Jaya wants a divorce, and she's leaving him, and all his business adventures are falling through again, and he just lost a couple $1 million, and now he's back in the poorhouse again, or on his way to it, and now she wants to leave him. See, he was high rolling. She was good to go. All right. And he even said how his sex is weak. He can't get her pregnant. He been trying. She wants a baby. He been trying to knock her up and he can't. Esau is through, man. Esau is through. Hell, Jake get women pregnant, not even trying to. That's just Jake don't be one even want to have a child and get a broad pregnant, man. These Edomites are weak, man. They really, really are. And their kingdom is fallen. That was just a little added bonus, but let's get back to it. Let's listen to what Saya has to say.
Traveling with, for example, an Iranian passport, right? And prior to COVID-19, an American passport gave you visa-free access to 95% of the world.
Wow, visa-free access just with an American passport to 90% of the world. But no more. Americans are not welcome.
Others had to spend thousands of dollars just for the privilege of being rejected anyways. Now, COVID-19, however, has suddenly made everything very different. Americans have now gone from having access to most of the world to being banned from most of it.
Wow.
So right now, as an American, all the places you can't go. So right now, there are some countries that are open to U.S. citizens now with no restrictions.
Stop. Take it in. Just take it in. All right? All that red, Americans cannot go. You are not welcome. Are you seeing this? All right? Are you seeing this? And a few places that you can go, there's major restrictions. Major restrictions. This is Daniel 8 and 25. And Salakia. And it reads, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. He shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. And the people are quite tired of America. They've destroyed many other economies. The people are angry because, like I said, they were forced at the edge of a sword to use American currency, and then were penalized for trying to get around it, or penalized with America when certain things would happen. And they're just quite tired of it, man. All right? And it says, and he should also stand up against the princes of princes, but he shall be broken without hands, man. So America's being broken without power, man. And the Lord hasn't even physically showed up yet. This is just through his spirit moving throughout the earth. The different plagues and things that he's sending. How he's working on the minds of men to go against Babylon. But look at that, man. All right? Those are all the places that are not open to U.S. citizens. All right? Several countries closed borders to U.S. citizens amid pandemic. All right?
Now, there's countries like Albania, Kosovo, North Macedonia, and Serbia. Now, in Western Asia, there is Turkey. In North Africa, there's Tunisia. Then islands like the Dominican Republic and the Maldives. Lastly, there's Mexico, but only at enclosed resort to Americans. Now, the most you have to do in these countries that are open to U.S. citizens is a temperature check at the airport. Then there are destinations that are also welcoming Americans, but with restrictions. Now, here are just a few examples of the restrictions. For example, you could go to Cambodia, but you have to dish out a $3,000 COVID-19 deposit.
Wow.
Kind of unrealistic, since a lot of young Americans tend to travel to Asian countries on a budget. Then there's a United Arab Emirates that has only opened up Dubai to Americans. All other parts of the Emirates are still...
And that's only because of Fight Island. Because Dana White's doing business with them, bringing business there. For, because the only sport that was really active during this whole lockdown was the UFC. All right? Going to this, and look at the arena sports, man. All these major arena sports have no audience, man. I was watching a basketball game a couple weeks ago, just clicked on it, and you had screens, electronic screens with faces on it and background noise. This place is finished, man. It's broken without hands. All right? No vacancy. Close. Not wanted. Stay away.
closed. So if your flight is to Abu Dhabi, well, expect to be sent back. Now, countries that are requiring a 14-day mandatory quarantine are the Ecuador and the UK. So also kind of unrealistic for Americans. They usually only have 2 weeks of vacation per year, so they can't spend the first 2 weeks in quarantine.
Oh man, this is it. Hey, just like my client lost, not her name is Saya, but just like he lost Jaya, America's lost everything, man. Look, this is Revelation 18 and 10. And because when you're looking at this, all right, all that red, okay, how many of them are gonna fight with America when the bullets start flying, when the missiles start flying, and how many are gonna fight against them? This is Revelation 18 and 10, and it reads, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, the great city Babylon, the mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. The Lord's going to wipe this place out in 1 hour. All right. And it reads, this is verse 17, Revelation 18:17. For in 1 hour so great the riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and company of ships and sailors, as many as trade by sea, stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Because they're going to see all that blue represent the seas, man. So all those ships are going to be out to sea all around the world, watching on monitors and screen, and some physically looking, visually looking, watching the smoke go up as they are 100 miles offshore, 300 miles offshore, 400 miles, 1,000 miles offshore. They're going to be able to see that smoke, man. All right? Because this place is going to get annihilated in yet 1 hour's time. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh by Shem Shai, Wa Abba Shalom.